I've debated for a long time whether or not I should make this video because what I'm about to say might sound like I'm calling out a popular YouTuber for personal gain through views. But ultimately, I've decided to pick up the pen and make this video because I don't think anybody else is gonna do so. This is Fantastic Hip Hop, a music discussing channel with a pretty respectable size. I mean, 94k subs, that ain't nothing to scoff at. And I actually used to watch some of bro's videos before I made this channel, or even the one before that I stopped posting videos on. And the content he makes is very similar to mine, just reviewing hip hop albums in general. But then the beef happened. Kendrick starts throwing shots at J. Cole and Drake. J. Cole fires back and then apologizes. Drake accepts the challenge and starts making diss tracks of his own. Kendrick then drops Euphoria and officially declares war. And on May 3rd, 2024, Kendrick drops 616 LA. Drake then responds later with Family Matters. And not even 15 minutes later, Kendrick drops Meet the Grams. Not Like Us goes crazy and becomes the most streamed diss track of all time. I say all of this just to point out that when all of this was unfolding, YouTubers got paid. Reactors made tons of money reacting to the songs, and everyone was making videos about how Kendrick came out victorious. But even with Drake's humiliating response that solidified him as the loser for most people, even with Kendrick releasing GNX and performing Not Like Us at the Super Bowl, most people have sort of put the beef behind and just moved on. Except this guy. To quote Kendrick off of TV Off, "It's not enough." Look at the amount of videos this guy has made. He damn near uploads a video every other day, continuing to defame Drake, making Kendrick seem like the morally superior man out of the two. The problem is that the claims he makes throughout these videos are so exaggerated that it's impossible for me to appreciate what he's doing. Let's look at some examples. Why Drake's losing it because his album officially flopped, or how Kendrick Lamar just officially ended Drake's career forever. He goes on to make the claim that Drake's album sold 246k first week while GNX sold over 300k first week while being a surprise album, so this essentially means that Drake flopped. What? In this current era of streaming, gone are the days where an artist is able to consistently sell above 500k without doing some crazy Travis Scott type bundle deals. So I don't get how Some Sexy Songs for You is considered a flop. You could say that because For All the Dogs sold 400k first week, this album should easily reach similar numbers as such, but that's simply not true. When Drake goes on to make a collab album with PND, an artist who is less popular than him, automatically a lot of people are going to be turned off by that. Some people just want to hear a solo Drake album. So attaching Party's name next to Some Sexy Songs for You is, by default, going to dissuade many from wanting to check it out. Also, 246k first week is still pretty good. I feel like if Drake sold less than 100k first week, it would be a flop for him. But it's been about a month since the album came out, and it's proven that it's here to stay for many. Songs like Nokia and Die Trying are on their way to become hits on the charts. The narrative of how Drake is being suppressed by the music industry when this album first came out really didn't stand the testament of time. Do I think this album is good? No, I made a whole video about how awful the whole album is, but it's not a flop by any means. Why Drake just announced his new album and nobody cares? This is literally Drake's most popular album right now in terms of daily streams. Here's another example. Why Drake's label is about to end him, exposing how weird he is. This is in reference to the lawsuit that Drake launched against UMG, in which he sued his own label and accused him for Not Like Us. I definitely understand why many people would be clowning Drake because no other rapper has taken a rap beef to court in an attempt to win a battle. Even I made a video about how soft Drake was and how his lawsuit made no sense. But even if Drake foolishly tried to sue his label and failed to do so, that still doesn't mean that his label is going to end him. Drake has brought UMG so much revenue financially due to his success. I mean, he was the most popular rapper of the 2010s. He has countless hits under his belt that people will still go back to. So for UMG to cut Drake loose from the label would make no sense because Drake is and will be an important asset to them. At the end of the day, the music industry operates from a business standpoint. Here's another example. Why Future's new mixtape has Drake terrified. The mixtape he's talking about in question is mixtape Pluto, which dropped on September 20th, 2024. The same day Future and Drake dropped their collaboration album What a Time to Be Alive 10 years ago. How the hell was that supposed to terrify Drake? Also, let's be honest, mixtape Pluto was a project that came and went. I gave it a 4 when I reviewed it, and I still stand by that take. Some of the videos I would even consider to be clickbait. Take this vid 6 months ago, how Kendrick Lamar just revealed when his album is dropping. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, GNX has only been out for 3 months. How does he know when it's coming out? And the answer is he doesn't. Just like every video he makes, he spends the majority of the time yapping about information that the audience already knows. Nowhere in this video does he ever talk about when an album is coming out other than predicting that it's gonna come around the Super Bowl. All he does is speculate that Kendrick and Pusha T will link up and drop a diss track at Drake by the end of 2024, which didn't happen. I don't believe he thinks making videos like this is intentionally misleading the audience, but that doesn't mean you know for sure when it's dropping. Why Drake just admitted the Kendrick beef destroyed his career. He proceeds to play a clip at one of his concerts where Drake is going on a generational rant about how people whom you trust could stab you in the back at any moment. Again, how are you going to make the assumption based off of one clip that Drake is admitting defeat? He didn't explicitly say anything related to him waving the white flag. What exactly are you trying to get across with this video? Why Drake just said he's quitting rap in this next chapter? He made one R&B album following the beef and you just automatically assume that he's quitting rap. What kind of fantasy world are you living in right now? Now, before you try to make the argument that I'm jealous of the success he has received compared to mine, I want to refute your point of contention right away that I'm not. When I first started reviewing albums and posting my opinions on this platform, it was never solely about the money. I'm not gonna make the cliche argument and say that I don't do YouTube for the money like so many other YouTubers are trying to make you believe, but the main motivation for me making reviews is just for me to share some of my thoughts on the music I'm listening. It gets tiresome talking to the same circle of friends you hang around over and over again, so that's why I made this channel. Simply put, I enjoy making videos. If that enjoyment ever fades away and I'm not having fun, I'll just take a break and come back later when I feel like it. I believe that if you are coerced to only make the videos the audience wants and not you, you've officially sold your soul to the public. Do I think Fantastic Hip Hop is making videos that he doesn't want? Not necessarily. At the time of me publishing this video, he's still rambling about how Drake is gonna get fucked in the ass and have his cheeks spread out by Kendrick. But when you make your whole persona, your whole YouTube channel dedicated to hating on a specific individual by using exaggerated and far-fetched facts to state your point, in which the individual nor the individual you're rooting for even knows your existence, you really need to slow down. It doesn't matter which side of the beef you're on. Take Los Pollos. I think he's an absolute insufferable piece of shit. He's basically unable to see anything positive about Kendrick and continues to attack him and defend Drake in the most pettiest and nonsensical way because he lives in a bubble where every piece of music Kendrick puts out is trash and everything Drake puts out is the musical equivalent of the second coming of Christ. That doesn't make Fantastic seem less of a parasocial person than Los. Every single video he makes is a video of just one tweet that someone posted or one small clip that he purposely blows out of proportion just to raise engagement among other parasocial Kendrick fans like him. Has the culture dynamic shifted so much to the point where we're unable to see how some Kendrick fans are just as insufferable as Drake fans? Just because they're at the other end of the spectrum doesn't make them seem less obnoxious by any means. Honestly, the main focus I made this video is not even about Fantastic Hip Hop in general. He's one small part of the problem in the bigger picture, the weird obsessive behavior among fans of either side of the beef. Because if the Drake and Kendrick rivalry has proven anything so far, it's that some fans will literally go to any lengths in order to defend an artist that they like. Fucking build a rocket and launch themselves to another planet just to prove that because this individual did X, Y, and Z, it makes them an inferior person. People who watch my reviews long enough know that I'm more pro Kendrick than pro Drake. I think Kendrick's a better rapper, better writer, makes much better albums than Drake. You can't convince me that he has anything in his catalog that even remotely touches Good Kid, Mad City, nor To Pimp a Butterfly. But that's just my take. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with someone's opinions, and music will always be subjective. What Fantastic Hip Hop does is beyond just sharing his own personal opinion on the new Kendrick album or the new Drake and P&D collab. He's making videos where he's actively downplaying everything Drake does and making false predictions so that he could squeeze every last drop of milk from the tits of the Drake and Kendrick beef. He really sat down and made a video titled Kendrick Lamar just ended Drake forever on Cardi's album. I can guarantee you there's not a single human being living on this planet with a working cerebral cortex who thinks that Kendrick ended Drake by calling Cardi his evil twin. That's like saying that hip hop is dead because Ben Shapiro hopped on a song with Tom McDonald. This isn't a musical take, it's you actively clip farming on something tangent to the whole drama and making a factually wrong interpretation or judgment from the whole thing. Trying to get as much money as he can with these videos where most of the time he's not saying shit. Look at the lengths of his videos. They stretch around 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 9 minutes. Rarely are his videos under 8 minutes. Why 8 minutes exactly? Well, the 8-minute mark is a threshold where YouTube gives you the option to place mid-roll ads for videos that exceed that time. It's all about the money. If you take anything from this video, do yourself a favor and don't watch this garbage. Do something more productive in your life other than praying for another man's downfall by watching videos that have as much substance as eating styrofoam. As for fantastic, seriously, you need to stop making videos about how Drake's career is gonna end, or how Kendrick Lamar is gonna end Drake's career. I'd honestly respect him more if he just flat out came out and admitted that he's doing it for the money. I hate to be the one who doesn't overdose in ketamine before recording every video I make, but anyone who's not missing a chromosome will know that Drake is still going to be a relevant figure in hip-hop even if he lost the beef, because he has already established a huge loyal fan base and there's nothing you could do to penetrate them. That did not need to come out this weird.